Welcome to another episode of Roll Up with Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright, now look. So for this one, I'm gonna be telling y'all about Doughboys Cash Out, Big Keys. You know what I'm saying? How about that? Alright, now what you gotta say about Big Keys, Mr. Roll Up? Well, look, I ain't here to speak no bad on them. I'm just here to speak the real about them, what I know about them. You know what I'm saying? And years later, after all that hood shit, I bumped into him in jail. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and break everything down, right? All right, let's start this from the top. We gonna go back to '03, '04 days. Let's jump in that time capsule. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's go back in time 20 years ago, right? Now, I done told y'all about the four life guys. You know what I'm saying? When we get to high school, which is '03, '04, you know what I'm saying? Well, '03. That's the year I started high school. So when I got to high school, that's when we bumped into the four life guys. You know what I'm saying? Because my side of the hood ended up going to school with the four life guys. So that's how all of that shit started, right? In between my hood and four life, right? Well, with all that being said, you got a guy like Big Keys. He didn't go to school with us. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from 7 Mile went to Henry Ford. Like that was our school. You know what I'm saying? If you was from that hood block from Greenfield to Telegraph, 6 Mile to 8 Mile, and like I said, all that shit is 7 Mile. Everybody in that zone claims 7 Mile. If you lived in that area, you went to Henry Ford. You know what I'm saying? Big Keys didn't go to Henry Ford with us. He went to Oak Park or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, with that being said, he didn't go to school with us, so he wasn't in the mix of shit that we was doing. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Um, with that being said, as well, Big Keys' daddy, his daddy's name Polo. Polo's still around and everything. But Polo went to jail for a long time. All that, right? Polo was a big time drug dealer back in the day. He original for life. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, um, Polo certified. You know what I'm saying? And this is how basically Keys got connected with the Dope Boys, Payroll, Giovanni, Doughboy Rock, all of them, right? Because all they daddies was drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? All them niggas was together. When you a big time drug dealer in Detroit, you connected with all the other drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? So that's how all that shit happened. This is why Keys pretty much got his notoriety and things like that. Because like I said, growing up in the hood, he wasn't out there with us. I ain't gonna lie, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the guys for real. I was out there every day. So I know who was, out there in the streets doing this and that. I know, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't. But like I said, because of his daddy, he had credit in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Again, he ain't go to school with us. He wasn't in the hood with us. He'd be over there with them time to time, but most of the time, he'd be with the Dope Boys. And that was around the time that they started doing their rapping shit, things like that, right? Well, it's a good thing he went that route because the streets wasn't about shit anyway. I'm just letting you know, like, how this shit really went, right? Okay, so we got all that established. You know what I'm saying? So let's fast forward to tape. My hood, beefing with For Life, all that shit, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. I told y'all what I had going on with the For Life niggas, all that shit, right? Well, at this point, Keith's blowing up now. And he mentioning For Life and all his tracks and everything. So his hood going through the roof with turning them For Life niggas up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they was on the bullshit that they was on. Because Keith was blowing their head up type shit. Well, we got all that established. The For Life niggas certified Keith, even though Keith wasn't on that street shit like that, but he was certified. You know what I'm saying? Well, now let's fast forward to tape some more. We got all of that. All right. Now, it's about 2019. You know what I'm saying? 2018, 2019, somewhere around that time, right? I got locked up on the driving on suspended. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I get locked up for this shit all the time, right? So I got locked up for that. Hey, look, listen, right? This ain't the sweat, this is some coconut oil. I'm trying something different. I told y'all, the lotion was irritating my eyes and shit. So I just started using this coconut oil. So that's why, I'm real, what can you say, moist. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, so like I said, this is about 2018, 2019, right? I go to jail on the driving on suspended in Oakland County. You know what I'm saying? Basically in the Pontiac area getting shit. I go to jail. While I'm in there, who did I see in there? Big Keys. Now, before we go there, for y'all that do know Big Keys and listen to his music, y'all done heard him mention how them Pontiac niggas stole his chain, he got his get back on him, you know what I'm saying? They robbed him, he shot him up, blah, 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 all of that shit, right? Well, with them tracks he was dropping, that shit ended up backfiring on him. You know what I'm saying? And that was this time right here. So at this time, Keys, he was out there in Oakland County driving around drunk, got pulled over for a DUI. Boom, they brought him into Oakland County Jail. Well, at that time, they put him in this building in Oakland County Jail called East Annex. East Annex is like, what can you say, like military style, where it's just a bunch of bunks, on one floor type shit with no cell bars, just a bunch of bunks, right? Well, while he was in there and shit, the Pontiac niggas, they peeped him. They like, oh, that's Keys. He was talking all that shit on them trades, woo woo. Cause evidently back in the day, they had a show in Pontiac. And they said what they jumped them dope boy niggas and they took Keys' chain and all of this shit, right? Well, them niggas, they put their word in, they did what they did. Keys got his chain back. So after he got his chain back, he got to make a diss songs on them Pontiac niggas. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So with that being said, when they peeped Keys in there, he was on his bunk. They ran up on him. They beat his ass while he was on the bunk type shit. You know what I'm saying? After they did that, the police came and got the Keys and they moved them to another unit called R9. R9 is the unit that they put you in when you first come in there. It's a quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Keith was about to go home anyway. His girl was buying him out. They was, just waiting on the buying process. So this is why they moved Keith back to R9 because he was about to get out anyway. So basically, they put him at the foot of the jail where you come in at because he about to go back out. Well, that's when I was coming in. And like I said, when you come in, that's the first little part of the jail that they put you in when you come in Oakland County Jail. Anybody that been to Oakland County Jail, OCJ, anybody that been there, y'all all know R9 is the first fucking room they put you in. So when I came in there, I was looking in the cell, before they actually put me in there. Because, they got to process you and all that shit. So I'm sitting there looking in the cell to see who all up in that bitch before they bring me up in there, right? I seen a nigga all the way in the back, like with his head down, got braids and shit, like, he writing rhymes or something. I'm looking like, that nigga look familiar as hell. Look a little harder. I'm like, that's that nigga Keith? Like, what the fuck? Okay, well, they put me in, they brought me in the R9, right? So I'm in there now, right? When I go in there, he's still in there, head down, writing and shit. It literally be like 40 fucking niggas in R9. R9 just a big ass cement block full of niggas waiting to get transferred from quarantine to an actual cell. So you would be in R9 for probably like a week, you know what I'm saying, before you actually go to a cell. Okay. When I come in there, like I said, all these niggas in there, Keys in the back, head down, writing rhymes and shit. Cause you can get some paper and a pencil, you know what I'm saying? So that's what he was doing. He was just sitting there writing, right? Keeping his head down, bumping his head, doing this. That's what he was doing, right? I ain't even run up on him because I ain't want to seem like no groupie or none of that shit. I just stood there and posted up. You know what I'm saying? I was just watching because, mind you, I know what the fuck going on with him and all that Pontiac shit. So I was just keeping my eyes open. and I didn't want nobody to peep me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because motherfuckers would have peeped that I was fucking with them, then they wouldn't have ran up on them. So I'm just in there watching the play, what's going on, right? Well, it was these three Pontiac niggas. You know what I'm saying? They all was in a huddle together talking this shit. And I kept seeing one of them kept pointing at Keith. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, they got to talking and shit. They like, yeah, that's that nigga Keith right there. He making all them diss songs, talking all that bitch shit, woo woo woo. Mind you, they just whooped him over there in East Annex. These wasn't the same guys that whooped him, but this is Pontiac Jail. Oakland County Jail sit right on the outside of Pontiac. So that's they county jail type shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to Oakland County Jail, you're gonna be in there with all the Pontiac niggas, right? So the Pontiac niggas got him in East Annex, then they moved him over there to R9. He over there in R9 with some Pontiac niggas too. They on that tip as well. So now they in there talking shit. Like, yeah, you making all them diss tracks, talking all that bitch shit, woo, woo, woo. Man, fuck that. We on. Next thing you know, them niggas start walking towards him. I'm like, dog, they about to get this nigga? Like, what the fuck? Nah, I cut right across that shit. I jumped right in their face. What's up? What y'all niggas on? You know what I'm saying? They like, oh no, bro, this don't got nothing to do with you. Woo, woo. Yes, it do, nigga. 7 Mile nigga. Fuck you talking about. This my mans. What y'all trying to do? You know what I'm saying? I hopped on tip instantly. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like, oh, bro, we don't want no problems. All right, woo, woo, woo. They turned around, went on about their business. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So after that happened, I turned around, looked at Keith. He like, damn, good looking, bro. Woo, woo. He looked at me like, ah, nigga, you, bro, what's up? Woo, woo, woo. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I was watching you the whole time. You in here with your head down, not paying no attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? What type of time? So he showing me his rhymes. He like, you know, I'm writing my shit. Woo, woo. He like, you know what I do? He like, this what I be on. All I do is write music. Woo, woo. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but nigga, we in jail. You know what I'm saying? What type of time? So with all that being said, right, me and him, we kicking it. We talking about the hood, you know, how we came up, all of that shit, everything, you know. So we got to talking about the whole 4Life Tone, 4Life Meech, 4Life D-Lo. When I told you I had to whoop them at the club and all of that shit, we talked about all that. He was like, yeah, bro, I know about all that. Woo, woo. It was like, you know, why you think ain't nobody made no move on you? Why you think ain't nobody said nothing? Like, you know, everybody got mad respect for you. And he like, that's why the guys was mad that, my bad. He like, that's why the guys was mad that you was in there with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I already know, you know, but I was like, nigga, that's my hood, you know? So we talking about all that shit, right? And they're just talking about a whole bunch of shit, right? So I'm like, nigga, why is you over here in R9? You know what I'm saying? And he told me. That's when he told me that they jumped him for them damn diss tracks. You know what I'm saying? They put him over there in R9. Crazy, I got work. You know what I'm saying? But after all that being said, ain't nobody want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? It was over with. Keith went home that same day. You know what I'm saying? Before he went home, I called my baby mama. I told her, because me and her, we was on good terms at that time. So I'm talking to her. I'm like, guess who I'm here with? She like, who? So I handed him the phone. And he started talking to her. He talking shit. Like, yeah, your baby daddy in here getting his commissary, man. He get beat up, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was talking shit with my baby mama type shit, you know. The shit was funny, man. But you know, he went home and, you know, he was untouched. I made sure he was good. You know, I ain't saying he a bitch and he can't handle his or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, I was there. Like, I real life saved that nigga for real because they was about to get his ass for a second time. Real nigga shit, you know. Um, Before I close this out, let me say this. I'm glad that Keys didn't go the route that we went. Even though he's certified in the hood, you would see him in the hood he always in the hood. You know what I'm saying? The hood love him for real. And like I said, it's because of his daddy Polo. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm glad that he didn't, you know, decide to rock with the street life. You know what I'm saying? He decided to do the rapping thing. And you see what he did for his career. He had got signed with Jeezy and them, you know what I'm saying? Making music with Cash Doll, all type of shit, you know, getting money, and he living a great life. So I'm proud of him for, you know, going down the right lane instead of doing what everybody else in the hood did, which we all chose the streets, you know what I'm saying? And that shit fucked us up for real. So, you know, salute to him for going down the right lane. You know what I'm saying? Let me use an example real quick, with Rio Grande. You know, Rio Grande, he was a part of them too. He wasn't a dope boy cash out, but he was a part of them. He always with payroll and Keys and all of them. It was some 7 Mile shit. We connected with a lot of motherfuckers. So he was involved with that shit too. He did music with them and everything, like doing his niggas. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he ended up falling out with payroll. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the history on that shit. Rio Grande and payroll, when they fell out, that's when like Rio pretty much split itself from the Dope Boys type shit. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, they wanted Keys to pick a side, you know. And Keys stuck with the Dope Boy shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, Keys, he made all the right steps. And that's why he in the position he in. And with that being said, with Rio Grande, he took the wrong steps. He decided to have 1 foot in the streets and 1 foot in the rap game. And that shit cost him 20 years of his life. He in the feds doing a 20 piece. So all in all, like I said, a lesson is like I said, I just said this 100 times. That street shit ain't what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? It's only for a little good time. It ain't for a long time. And if you don't make the right moves, your ass can get killed. You know what I'm saying? Or go to jail, go broke, all type of shit. For choosing some shit that ain't about nothing. You know. So Keys went the right way, and it's showing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of bro. But I just had to drop that on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Them Pontiac niggas, they was trying to get his ass for a second time. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But God working mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying? He put me there, and I was able to be there to watch the nigga walk out the door. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. How about that? It's been another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.